Tansei, good afternoon. I'm Cree Nation. Welcome to APTN National News Daytime. Thank you for joining us. Family members of missing 24-year-old Natanis Merasty will host an awareness walk and search in the James Smith Cree Nation in Saskatchewan this weekend. Here's an update. For Natanis Merasty, who is originally from La Ronge, Saskatchewan, has spanned across BC, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. She was last seen on May 5th in Edmonton, and during that time she was visiting friends and staying at the Continental Inn and Suites on the west side of the city. At 1:33 a.m., she left the hotel in her vehicle. She was then spotted again at a 7-Eleven at 2:55 a.m. Then on May 6th, her vehicle traveled west into BC. On May 7th, RCMP found surveillance video showing her vehicle boarding a ferry to Nanaimo, BC. Then on May 15th, her vehicle was found abandoned in the James Smith Cree Nation in Saskatchewan. Morasti's black 2007 Hyundai Tucson with Saskatchewan license plate 286NTX was found repainted silver. Last July, the Edmonton Police Service said they had a number of people of interest in their investigation. This Saturday, family and volunteers will search James Smith Cree Nation, beginning from where Morasti's vehicle was found. Morasti was last seen wearing a black and gray sweatshirt, black leggings, white shoes, and a black fanny pack. She also has the letters DJM tattooed on her fingers and a rose tattoo on her hand. If anyone knows where Natanis Merasty is, please contact RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Catherine Cooper is one of the organizers of this weekend's search.
Natanis Merasty is 24 years old. This is not her usual behavior. She's, throughout her life, she's been in steady contact with her family. And because of the way that her van traveled in 3 different provinces in a very short time, there's definite concern. And the last known location, physical location, was at the Continental Inn in Edmonton. And later on, her van was found at James Smith Cree Nation, totally stripped, and it was being repainted. So yeah, there is lots of concern there. I think the biggest message the family would like to give to the general public in terms of Natanis is that she's loved. They're full of grief and concern because this is not the Natanis they know, and they just want people to help them create awareness. And if anybody knows anything, to come forward, to call the Edmonton Police Services or to call Crime Stoppers.
Earlier this week, the city of Richmond near Vancouver held an information session for homeowners affected by the recent court decision, giving the Cowichan tribe on Vancouver Island title to land currently being occupied by private landowners. APTN's Tina House was there and has more.
It was standing room only as a few hundred people showed up at the information session held by Richmond City Council. However, that information session turned heated.
Why did you guys not reach out to us? I'm asking you. You're the mayor. You're supposed to know everything that's going on in Richmond. I pay my taxes to you. Why did you not reach out to us?
Do the lawyers want to address that one?
Yes.
No, cool it, guys.
Tony Capuccinello-Arici is the lawyer for the city of Richmond. He stated that it was up to the plaintiff to have notified the homeowners, but the crowd strongly disagreed. In August, the BC Supreme Court ruled that the Cowichan tribes have Aboriginal title over a portion of the land on the Fraser River, shown here within the black highlighted area on the map. The case centered around Aboriginal title to approximately 1,846 acres of their traditional summer village, Tuluktunis, and surrounding lands on the south shore of Lulu Island, which is now part of the city of Richmond. Throughout the 5-year-long battle, the city of Richmond, the Musqueam Indian Band, Tawasin First Nation in the province of BC argued in court, but lost. The landowners here are worried and have raised serious concerns over what will happen to their property value and how exactly the case of the rights and title being given to the Cowichan First Nation will affect them.
will each individual owner have to challenge their assessment on a year-to-year basis while this goes on and our property values are decreased.
All those negative things, home equity, all that is plummeted. There's a cloud. If your property is within the area outlined in black, there certainly is a real concern. And the only solution, unfortunately, is to have this matter overturned on appeal.
Last week, the Cowichan First Nation issued a letter stating they are not challenging the effectiveness or validity of the title held by individual private landowners. The ruling does not erase private property. Mayor Brody was asked about that letter.
The Cowichan issued a letter yesterday saying that really this meeting is overreaction, and that basically that the landowners don't have to worry about anything. We very strongly disagree with that, with the sentiments in that letter.
The City of Richmond, Province of BC, the Musqueam Indian Band, and Tsawwassen First Nation are all appealing the decision. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Moving to the Northwest Territories now, where the Office of the Auditor General recently released an audit focused on equitable housing in the territory. APTN video journalist Bruce Delacruz has more.
The audit found that Housing NWT, the governing body for housing in the Northwest Territories, had been unsuccessful in fixing the housing crisis currently facing the territory. Key findings in the audit included: Housing Northwest Territories did not know whether it provided equitable access to suitable public housing, did not effectively manage the condition of its public housing inventory, and did not take measures to ensure the funding under its home ownership program was being equitably allocated. Paul Annie Pierre is the Senior Assistant to Auditor General Karen Hogan. Pierre said they were dismayed at the audit's findings.
We are disappointed at the lack of progress on some of these issues. While the auditor can raise the issues, the accountability lies with the corporation and with the assembly, who can ask for action and monitor progress.
NWT Housing Minister Lucy Captana held a press conference shortly after the audit was tabled to discuss next steps for Housing NWT.
The report shows we need to do better to make housing and housing support fair and accessible for those who need it most. This is not just another report, this is a call to action.
Some of the promises Housing NWT made in response to the audit include monitoring public housing allocation, monitoring unit conditions and maintenance, and outcome monitoring for home ownership programs. Captana commented on the importance for small communities in the Northwest Territories to have housing support during the ongoing housing crisis.
Having housing at the community level, a strong housing organization, and infrastructure at the community level lends to everything across the board that GWT does, from health to education to infrastructure to social supports. Because, like I've told everybody, if you don't have a home, then how can you function? And this goes to every community.
Bruce Delacruz, APTN National News, Yellowknife.
We have more news after the break, including a Blue Jays update. Stay with us. now on this Halloween Friday. She is as friendly as Casper the Ghost, our host of Nouvelle Nationale, Kim Sullivan. Hey, Kim.
Hi, Creason. Good thing you didn't say I was as cute as the Bride of Frankenstein. Happy Halloween to you, to all our Goblin families watching. I do realize that most of our viewers will be busy with trick-or-treaters when we air at 6:30 Eastern tonight, but let's not forget that all our shows and reports are uploaded to YouTube shortly after, so you can catch up when the candies run out.
That's a great reminder, Kim. You also have elections coming up here in Quebec, eh?
Busy weekend for us. Elections happening in all municipalities across the country. We spoke with the different parties here in Montreal to get their take on homelessness, especially Indigenous homelessness, and we'll share what all the parties had to say on tonight's show.
Let's shift gears here. There's also a new mobile educational unit launching this week.
I see what you did there with the gears. Yes, a community northeast of us is launching this great culturally safe initiative for kids. It's to help them with language, to feel seen and heard. It's going to be on wheels. It's going to have gears. It will be traveling around parks and schools. So that report is also in tonight's show.
And with November comes men's health topics. You spoke to the founder of Procure.
Yes, prostate cancer, such a taboo topic, and too many of our men in communities diagnosed too late. So every November, Procure launches this thing called Bovember, and they invite everyone to sport this year's collectible bow tie for a cause. I won't lie, I'm actually an ambassador for this initiative, Creason. My father was a urologist, and this is my way to carry his legacy. It's stylish, it opens up the conversation around prostate cancer, and the best part is that all the monies go back to innovative research throughout the country and a 24/7 helpline that everyone can use to talk to trained experts in the field. And we know that this is especially useful to our remote communities that have little to no medical services nearby and a lack of proper medical information.
Sounds like a great cause, Kim. You'll have to send me a bow tie. Have a great Halloween this Friday.
Don't eat too much candy.
We now want to tell you about this week's 3 web poll questions. Over on our website, we ask, should federal inmates be paid minimum wage for the work they do? This is that episode on APTN Investigates. You can answer yes, no, or unsure. Our second question was, are governments doing enough to acknowledge historical injustices against Indigenous peoples? Your answers are yes, no, or unsure. And our last question was, what are your thoughts regarding a floating natural gas facility and marine export terminal off the northwest coast of BC? That's that story that Ryan Cunningham did earlier in the week. You can answer I support it, I don't support it, or unsure. Go to our website at aptnnews.ca/poll to have your say. Cree hip-hop artist, activist, and entrepreneur Dakota Bear is up next to talk about his new clothing line, Decolonial Clothing. We'll be right back. Will Lawland for staying with us. St. John, sunny and 10. Charlottetown, rain and 12. Nain, showers and 5. The Grand River, partly cloudy and 3. Saguenay, 7 and showers. Quebec City, rain and 7. Toronto, rain and 7. Sarnia, 8. Big Trout Lake, 1. Wawa, partly cloudy and 3. Churchill, -4. Thompson, -2. Winnipeg, 3. Dauphin, 1. North Battleford, -5. Regina, 0. 0 in Buffalo Narrows, La Ronge, -1. Sunny in Peace River at 12. Fort McMurray, 4. 17 in Calgary, Medicine Hat, 20. Kamloops, 14. Cloudy in Penticton at 11. 7 in Fort Nelson. Smithers, cloudy and 5. -3 in Dawson, -1 in Mayo. Wati, 3. Norman Wells, -4. Tuktoyaktuk, -2. Pulatuk, -1. Chesterfield, -1. Baker Lake, -1. And Arctic Bay, -16. Iqaluit, -6. Our next guest is a Cree hip-hop artist, activist, and entrepreneur from the Treaty 6 territory in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and is currently based in Vancouver.
We rolling deep in the street. I got these spirits and talking to me, yeah. The bodies identify, this is a genocide. You better get it.
Cree rapper Dakota Bear has been writing songs since he was a youth living in Saskatoon's east side. Since then, he has released more than 20 songs and has performed alongside Dreezus and Mac. His music explores his Indigenous identity, the I Don't Know More and land back movements, missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirit people, Canada's residential school legacy, and Cancel Canada Day. He also recently has become a self-proclaimed warrior entrepreneur and has co-founded the Decolonial Clothing Company and Landback Records, a music label that supports emerging Indigenous artists. We recently spoke to Dakota Bear from the Musqueam Squamish Tsleil-Waututh territory in Vancouver. Here's that interview. Dakota Bear, thank you so much for speaking with us. As a rapper and activist first, can you tell us why you write music about the I Don't Know More and land back movements, but also about the importance of reclaiming your Indigenous identity?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity just to kind of share a little bit about myself, who I am, some of the work that I do. For my music, it's really just an extension of who I am. It really kind of shows, I guess, the different phases that I've been through in my life, because it's been a storytelling platform for me. Once I got sober, I got reconnected to my culture, really reawaken that warrior spirit. That's where you can really hear and feel that through my music. And I think just really stepping up in a community leadership role, I wanted to use a language that's universal, that a lot of people can feel, especially the young people, to connect. And that's really where some of the inspiration comes to make some of that music that really, for me, hopefully empowers the next generation.
That's great to hear, Dakota. You've also co-founded Landback Records. Can you tell us how that journey has been for you in supporting other up-and-coming Indigenous artists?
Yeah, so Landback Records is really created to disrupt the music industry, is the way that I see it, because it's really focused and grounded in mentorship and teaching other young people how the music business works, how the music industry works, and how they could use their gifts, their talents, and their passions to either pursue it by themselves or enter that music business industry, to really empower them to make those decisions. So mentorship is at the forefront of what Landback Records is about, but also creating opportunities like the Turtle Island Festival, formerly known as Circles Festival, where we platform different artists and really focus on bringing up Indigenous youth to come to those bigger stages and have that opportunity to showcase their music, their talent, their story, and who they are. And I feel like music is just a really universal platform. It's a really strong way for us to really express who we are, share our stories, and Landback Records is a part of being able to contribute to that.
You're also an entrepreneur who co-founded the Decolonial Clothing Company. Can you tell us why you wanted to create a clothing brand?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. Me and my wife, my business partner, we've been at it for a while, just putting our creativity together. Same with the music. It's a platform that has a lot of reach with fashion. It's a way to spread a message, to drive change, to connect who we are as Indigenous people, our identity, our messages, and bring it to the masses. And that's really the inspiration or the drive behind decolonial clothing, and how it came to be was just an extension again of ourselves, who we were, what we represent when we were young people, just reclaiming our identity, and then getting more into community activism work and really showcasing that through a really big influential platform such as fashion and clothing.
I saw that you released a bunch of different new designs and new sweaters. Are you getting geared up for Christmas here?
Yeah, we're just really looking to, for our messaging and our styles that we do with our clothing, really just looking to continue to amplify our message, and every piece that we have, the statement behind that piece, the meaning behind that piece, we really work on it so everything has a purpose in a way that it either helps you show up and reclaim your identity, or, enter those spaces to really share that message, against colonialism, oppression, and things that we face as Indigenous people. So every drop, we really do work behind the scenes of what's the purpose, what's the meaning of it, how we want people to feel. And yeah, we've just been working on that throughout the year, just having our creativity and just dropping, new statement pieces, collections as we go.
That's awesome. Dakota, I also want to get your thoughts on the recent search for 14-year-old Samuel Bird. I know you had a hand in helping with that search. Can you tell us what it was like being there for the Bird family and finally finding Samuel?
It was difficult. Like any other search that I've been a part of. This one hit really close to home because I had lost my brother. We had to search for him as well. We were searching in the North Saskatchewan River. We were doing land searches as well for him. With this in particular, this search and it meant a lot for me to be able to show up in ways that can contribute to help find this young boy, because I know what it's like to see, a mom out there, my mom specifically, searching without getting that help, getting that support. And you have to go and put that out there and even plead for that help and that support. And I feel like that was a lot of us across Turtle Island. We heard that, we resonated with that, and a lot of people showed up online. Some people showed up physically, and I was able to contribute in ways that were meaningful, to help activate the community within the rallies, the command posts, doing things that really helped me find my little brother, and the community coming together, that collective prayer across Turtle Island, really all of us putting in that prayer, it was answered. And I think it just goes to show that through community, through us working together, it really was a miracle. They said there was a really small percentage chance to bring Samuel Bird back to his family before winter, but those things happen when you ground yourself and when you work together. So that's what we did. I'm honored to be a part of that work. I'm honored to continue to honor also my little brothers in ways that are meaningful, but it's difficult. It's hard work, but it has to happen. We get activated and then we just keep moving forward. So it was a lot of mixed emotions when Samuel his remains are getting brought back to his family. But I committed to that search and to the family, and I'm just proud of myself for continuing on even when it was difficult through my own experience with especially doing it back home in the way that we did it. But it was all meaningful. It all had a lot of impact, and I just hope that it makes it a bit easier for the next family that has to go through this. Unfortunately, it's a crisis that we deal with, but maybe it alleviates a little bit of that weight to know that when we come together, we can make things happen.
Yeah. Dakota Bear is a rapper, activist, and entrepreneur of the Decolonial Clothing Company. Dakota, thanks so much for speaking with us, and we wish you all the best in your future.
Thank you, bro. You guys have a good rest of your day. Take care.
And that's your daytime newscast. Happy Halloween for all of our little ghosts and ghouls out there, including for our reporters, Julia Ross and TR Wheatley. From all of us at APTN National News, thank you for watching and have a safe weekend with family and have a fun trick-or-treating this evening.